Hi everybody, this is Michelle with Country Craft Creations and Creative Operation, and I'm here today. We're going to work on my first design team project using Carta Bella Summer Collection. And I think this is a really fun album. I'm calling it a configuration album because it does have some strategic ways to manipulate a piece of paper with a few scores and a cut or two, and you can create 5 totally different pages with this, and I'm really excited about it. I've done this kind of thing before, not in this size, so this is a new thing, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. It's really easy, it's really simple, sounds more complicated than it really is. So we're going to go and do that here in just a second, but I wanted to let you know we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to start from the covers already being made and then go from there. So yesterday I did a video on how to do the lay flat binding. This binding has been created by Tamara of Country Craft Creations, our owner and fearless leader, and it's a really awesome method of covering your chipboard to make your covers for your album, and the album actually will lay perfectly flat. You're going to love this. If you haven't used it, you're going to love it. If you have used it, I know you already do love it, and so there you have it. So these are the measurements that we'll need for this particular album. If you need a refresher on how to make the album covers using this method, go in the description below and check out my video link, and you'll learn how to make it, and then you can apply this process to any size album that you want. So I'll tell you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to need are the chipboard pieces. So for the covers, you'll need 2 at 7.5 by 5.5 front and back covers. You'll need 1 for the spine that's 2.5 by 7.5, and then you'll need cardstock to cover. So you'll need 2 pieces that are 9.5 by 7.5 for the front and back covers. 1 piece that's 9.5 by 6. That's going to be the spine piece that covers the outside of the spine and then has the wings that attach to the front and back covers. And then you'll need 1 piece of cardstock that's 7 3/8 by 6. That will be the inside spine. So those are the measurements that you will need. Again, check out the description if you need to refresh yourself on how to do this, because it has the link to my video. And then we'll just go ahead and continue on with this tutorial, and we'll start from where the covers are created, and we'll go from there. Thanks a lot. Okay, so let's finish this cover. So I am going to try a different closure, or well, it's not really a different closure, but a different way to do the closure for this. So what you're going to need are some pattern paper. So I've got the paper for the outside of the spine, and then I've got the paper for the outside covers. Then what we're going to do, let's do this first. Let's put the paper on the spine. So I'm not going to ink the edges on this one since I'm using white paper and I don't really want to mess it up. So we're going to do this right here and lay that down. So this piece of paper is 2 7/8 by 7 3/8. All right. And then, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the closure. So what I did was, in my design team package, I got these Graphic 45 artist trading card tags. And I wanted to use them, but I was trying to figure out kind of a different way of doing it. And I haven't seen this yet, so if you've done it, let me know. But I had this idea. So, I mean, some people have been using these tags to help create closures. I have seen that. But I kind of found a different way of putting the ribbons through them. So that's what I'm going to do. So what I did was I scored this artist trading card size tag. So it is... the whole length of it is 3.5 inches, and it's 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so what I did was I scored it from the bottom at 2 3/4 inches. Okay, so it gave that. And then what I did was I turned it over and I just adhered my seam binding to the back of this and then threaded my seam binding through. So what that's going to do is I don't have to have a knot here. I don't have to loop it through, do a knot, or that kind of thing. So it's attached and it's through the loop, and it's going to be attached actually to the album instead of the seam binding attached to the grommet. I hope that makes sense. But what I'm going to do is then I'm just going to glue this to the edge here in the middle and make sure that it goes perpendicular so that it will tie, and that's how we're going to close the album. Okay, so I'm going to grab my centering ruler and I'm going to grab my tag, and I'm going to get this out of the way because I don't need that right now. And so 7.5 would be, so I'm putting my centering ruler so that it's at 3 3/4, and I'm going to add glue here to my tag. Should get it in camera, I think, huh? Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just lay that down as best I can here, right about there. And then I'm going to just fold it over just to make sure that it goes perpendicular, and then glue that down. Grab my other bone folder here. All right, just like that. Okay, so now if you look at it from the inside, you do see the seam binding coming through, but it's through the hole and there's no extra knot right here. So I just thought I'd try that and just to see what it would do, and I think I'm going to like it. So then we're just going to do this with the second side here. Center that, and I'm going to grab my glue again. And I made 2, and then I just layered the seam binding with a couple pieces of score tape. And then this whole thing is going to get covered with a piece of pattern paper. Okay, get that out of the way. Make sure that folds over so it's nice and perpendicular. Okay, and then we'll do that. And again, you'll see that. So that's going to be that. All right, so then we will grab our pattern paper, and you're probably wondering why I didn't use this beautiful strawberry paper on the front, because we're going to make something really cool in just a second. I'll show you how to do that. All right, so put the green there, and that'll cover that up completely. I just thought that was kind of a cool little way to vary how you would use those little tags for a closure. I kind of like that. Okay, my other piece. Okay. I'm gonna lay that down. So these papers were cut at 5 3/8 by 7 3/8. So an 1/8 inch smaller than our covers. All right. Okay. So our cover's complete, and then our album will close by tying these together. And then I'm going to finish the end somehow, but I haven't decided how I was going to do that yet. Okay, so that's going to be our closure. I mean, that's pretty simple, but just a little bit different too. All right, so then the inside, we're going to cover these real quick with the solid green. And we're going to do the pink. I'm going to do the pink. I want to do the pink because I have green on the outside. And then we'll talk about the cover element here. Oops. Ah! Making a mess. All right. So again, same measurements for this, 5 3/8 by 7 3/8. I guess I didn't need to do that because I'm going to glue that side down anyway. All right. All right, let's glue this down, and then our cover basically is complete. So we're going to talk about the cover decoration here real quick, and then we'll move on to making our pages. Now our pages are going to be really cool. For those of you who have followed me for a while, I like to do what I call configuration pages, which means that I like to figure out how to take a 12 by 12 piece of paper and cut it and score it and fold it strategically so that it does different things. So we're going to make 5 pages that will all be different out of 2 different folds, and that's it. So yeah, this is going to be fun. So my configurations, the 7 by 5 configurations is what I'm calling them. Okay, so our cover is complete. Now, what I did, let me grab some stuff. Okay, let's see here. This out of the way. That. And not that. All right. Okay, so I decided I really liked the strawberry theme on this. So I kind of went with a strawberry theme cover. And I wanted to make a basket because in the pattern of this particular paper, there are little, you know, fruit baskets. And so I wanted to make one. So this is really super simple. And then I went back to the days of punch art. And you guys, I made punch art strawberries to fill the basket. And I just think that is going to be adorable. So it also, in the stickers, have a strawberry seed packet. So I backed it on our Artisan cardstock on a little scrap of red and a little scrap of green. So I've got a little like seed packet. And then these little gems here, these little gems are the doodads. So in my design team package, I got doodads. And I have to admit, I'm not a very good shaker maker. I honestly haven't played with them very much, but I have come up with a couple different ideas to use these. So I'm kind of practicing because I haven't used these, but I got Gold Rush doodads, and these are really actually kind of fun. So I put them in this other little container just because they're easier to get out. But one of the little things in here are, they look like little, you know, like almost like enamel dots or something. These little sparkly gems here. So what I did was I took a couple of those and I used those with glue, and then I just used them kind of like enamel dots. So that was one way that I tried to use them. So I put them on the seed packet. So what I think I'm going to do is do something like this, and then I went back again and I made another 3D strawberry. So this one has pop dots, and I'll show you how to make these. Really cute, and I'm going to show you how to make the little deal here, and we'll talk about it. But so I made a little 3D strawberry, so I'm going to put that maybe down here, and so there's going to be like my cover, or maybe like this, I don't know, I haven't quite decided yet, but that's going to be my cover. So basically we're gonna make this. I'll show you how to do it. It's super easy. And then I made, I want to say, let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. I made 9 of these little strawberries. And then what I did was, after I made the basket, then I just turned it over, and then I just started layering my strawberries till I was happy with it. And so it looks like I've got a basket full of strawberries. And I really just thought that tied in with the theme of this paper. I thought it looked really super cute, and it was fun to do. So let's talk about how to do that. So I just went through my stash and I got a heart punch. You can use any size heart punch you want. This one here, the hearts measure, let's see, at the widest about 1 3/4, and then it's about, oh gosh, about 1.5 inches tall. And then for the leaf of it, I just used an oak leaf punch that I had in my stash. And this guy here without the stem, let's see, this is about 1 1/4 by 1-ish, 1 1/8, and without the stem. And then what I did was I just punched for the basket here. They're not 3D, so I just punched the hearts, and then I punched 9 leaves, and then I just glued them down like so, and I just put just a little bit of glue, just a dot, and then just kind of stuck it down. And then ta-da, I have a strawberry. So then I had a gold gel pen, and then I just made little marks for the seeds with my gold pen, just random gold. Little, just not even dots, they're more like little lines, but they're supposed to mimic the seeds, okay? So that's all I did to that. Let that dry. So done. So if you wanted to make the 3D one, then what I did was I cut another heart and I just cut it in half. Okay, so you can see I just cut it in half and rounded the corners just a little bit, and then I layered that over the top with my pop dots after I drew the lines, and then I put the leaf on top. So that's how I did that. So that'll be kind of the accent on the cover. Okay, but the ones that are flat, those are the ones that are going to be in the berry basket. So let's talk about the berry basket here real quick. This is super, super easy to do. So you need 2 pieces of paper that are 3/4 by 4.5. Okay, and I'm going to place them on my grid here so that they're lined up and they're 3 inches tall. Okay, so there's 3 inches between the bottom edge of this one and the top edge of this one. And then I cut 5 pieces of paper, and this is Artisan baby blue cardstock that I used, 1/2 inch by 3. Okay, so 1/2 inch by 3. So then all I did was I put a little dot of glue on each end, and then I started from the side. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up this corner here at the 1/4 inch mark on the bottom, and then the outside corner I'm lining up at the very corner top of that one that I put up there. Okay, does that make sense? So the top corners up here match, but this bottom corner of this smaller piece is at the 1/4 inch mark. Okay, does that make sense? So you're going to have something that looks like that. Okay, we're going to trim it later, but that's how you're going to get that angle to the basket. Okay, so do that to the second side. So I'm just going to line these back up. I want to make sure, because I'm trying to keep my berry basket about 3 inches tall. So I'm going to grab another piece, and I'm going to put a dot of glue here and a little dot of glue here. And then again, what I'm going to do is the bottom corner of this, I'm going to line up at the 1/4 inch mark, and the top corner, I'm going to line up right at that point. Okay. And it doesn't have to be like super, super exact. We're going to trim it. And this is going to be the back side. Okay. So you're not going to see this, because you'll see on this one here, the top 2, or the top and the bottom here, those are on the top. Okay. These middle basket pieces are on the underneath side, underneath the strawberries. Okay. So then once you do that, grab another one. And then what I did was I put it in the middle. So I'm going to try and find my center mark here. So 4.5 here. I'm just using my grid here to just kind of find the center mark. And then I'm just going to put that in the center, top and bottom. Okay. And then grab your next piece. And then what you're going to do with this is you're going to put this in the middle, but you're going to have to angle it just a little bit. And I eyeballed it, totally eyeballed it, but it's going to be, you know, off center. It's not going to be straight up and down, because if it is, then it's going to leave too much here. So we're trying to basically make this space and this space match. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little dot of glue again, and I'm eyeballing it at the bottom, little bit of an angle, like right about like that. Okay. And again, don't worry, we're going to trim it in a second, and then do the same thing for this one. And then our basket is made. Okay. So that's what I did for the cover. I hope that made sense. I used scraps of Artisan cardstock in red and green that I had. So like all those little pieces that we all save because we can't stand throwing anything away, really became quite cute. So then we have our piece. Now we need to just trim. So just grab your scissors. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the bottom. Now I'm not going to trim the top. I want the top like squared off. Okay, so you can see how there's a little lip there, but the bottom is angled. Okay, so I'm just going to trim the bottom with the angle of the sides of my little pieces that I put on, okay? So now the top is squared, okay, and the bottom is angled. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just trim the tops here because you don't want those showing. So I'm just going to trim those off. Okay, and then you have your berry basket. Pretty simple. So 2 pieces that are 3/4 by 4.5, 5 pieces that are 3 by 1.5, and then just layer them on there. And then you have a berry basket. I made about 9 of these, so however big your hearts are will depend. So then what I did was I just turned it over to the back side and I made my hearts, and then I just started layering them over the holes however it was pleasing to me, so that when I turned it over, you know, they showed through and there weren't any holes, you know, open. The strawberries covered it all. And then I added some at the top so it looked like the basket was overflowing. And that's all I did to make that. So that's going to be the cover piece of my album. All right, so I'm gonna get some stuff ready and we will work on pages next. Okay, let's continue on with the tutorial. So this is the album. We did the cover, okay, we did the closure, so I put that down, and then we talked about my cover element that I'm going to use for the decoration. So we already did that. So the next thing that I want to look at, and then we'll go through the pages next after that, but we're going to look at the waterfall element that I'm going to put on the inside covers. So this waterfall element is really easy and really fun, and again, I am doing this because I really want to showcase the 4x4 cut apart. So that's what this is. And I didn't want to cover it up, so I went ahead and made it so that the magnet closure was underneath that and left the rest of the pages blank. And I'm still kind of working on this, so I still need to put the papers here in the 1/2-inch gusset here, but we've got a waterfall here that will hold 4x4 pictures. And it is adhered down on the back, and again does have a magnet closure. Now you can do the magnet closure, you know, whichever way you want, but I didn't want to cover up this element. So let's go over how I did that, and then we'll go ahead and put it on this back cover here. So let's get this out of the way for just a second, and then let's look at the pieces that we have here. So you'll need a magnet, and you will need the closure piece, you will need papers to cover the closure, and then you will need your waterfall. Okay, so the waterfall here is a stacked waterfall, and I did do a tutorial on how I put these together. Actually just published it today as I'm filming this tutorial, so I will put a link to that on there, but let me tell you what the measurements are here for this, and let me get my notes out because I totally forgot to do that. But so you're going to need 3 pieces of paper because this is a 6-page waterfall, so each waterfall will require 6 pieces of paper. And for each one you will need a piece. The biggest piece will be 4 1/8 by 10 3/4, and then the second piece that goes on the inside is 4 1/8 by 9 3/4, and then the middle 2 pages are the 4 1/8 by 8 3/4. So these are going to be stacked. So this is the stacked method that I do, and again I'll put the tutorial link in the description there for you. And so just make this, and it will hold 4x4 pictures. Okay, so then what we're going to do is let me grab this, and I'll grab the book, and we'll look at the one that I made. And here we go. So it's going to be centered. It's going to be centered right on the inside of the back cover, this one we're going to make. And it is glued down completely. So instead of, sometimes when I do these stacked waterfalls, I just glue the spine section here, but we're going to glue the whole back side down because we're going to use this last page to hold the closure. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that built. So let's first off, let's go ahead, before I forget, I'm going to round the corners of my little closure piece, and then I've got my papers cut out to cover it, and the strawberries will go on the front. See, I'm kind of trying to keep with the strawberry theme, and I just love the strawberry theme. So, and then we have our happiness is a fresh bowl of berries. So that kind of ties into my front cover. So that right there is why I created that. I just loved it. So we made our waterfall, and we're going to take our closure, and we're just going to grab our art glitter glue here, and I'm going to put, let's get that out of the way. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the inside, whoa, 1/2 inch piece. And I didn't tell you, the closure measures 5 by 1.5, and I scored it at 1/2 and 1/8. So it's going to give you an 1/8 inch gusset, okay? And then I'm going to take my centering ruler here and my waterfall, and I'm just going to try and eyeball as best I can, because it's 4 1/8, so we got to go like 4 1/16, and just center that under here at about there. That looks like that's about right. Don't go in the score. Sorry about that if my head was in the way. Don't go in the score. Okay, so that's going to go to the back, and then that will wrap around the front, just like that. So then what we need to do is make sure, we're going to grab our magnets here, and make sure that this is flat and your 1/8 inch gusset is perpendicular, okay? So you don't want it pulled too tight, because we want to have a little bit of give for pictures. And then we're going to go ahead and just put our magnet like right in the middle. We've got a lot of space to play with here, because the end of the page will actually be right about there. So we got a lot of space. So I'm going to just put it there. And I'm going to take this top magnet off. I'm going to close this and then put that there. That's where that magnet is going to sit. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off and then grab my score tape and then just score tape over the total thing. Now, if you haven't seen one of my last videos, I was talking about this. Instead of just putting like one strip of score tape over the magnet, I have been adding a strip to completely cover it, because I think that it helps kind of hide the magnet a little bit. When you put the paper over and glue it down, it kind of bridges it just a little bit more. So I've been kind of doing that lately. I think it helps. I don't know if it really does or not, but it's just what I've been doing. So, you know, we'll see. All right, so glue on my 4x4 and then put it down. So just like that. And then I always, you know what? I start the video and I never, ever get everything I need all at once. Always reaching for something that I didn't pull out. Okay, so there's that. Okay, super cute. So then we can go ahead and take that off and we can cover this. Now I'm going to use the pink on the inside here and then use the strawberries on the outside. And our glue. Don't throw my bottle of glue, because you all know I like to do that. All right, so there we go. All right. Okay, and then we'll do the front, and that piece will be done, and we can add it to our book. So it is designed to go 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the bottom, kind of centered, and then I centered it, you know, side by side, or side to side on the inside back cover. So there. A little bit crooked. Hold on. Art glitter glue is a little forgiving, so it sets fairly quickly, but it does give you a minute if you need to adjust, which is good. There we go. Okay, so that's covered, and then that will close like that. And then again, I have to go back in and get the pieces that I need for that, but this part is done. So then we'll grab our book, and then again, like I said, it's just centered 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the bottom, and then centered on the side. So I'm going to just open this up. I'm going to glue this down completely, and I'm going to just probably just eyeball it. put the glue on. And again, I'm gluing the whole thing down. Now, if you don't want to glue the whole thing down and you want to still utilize the whole back page of the waterfall like I do a lot of times, make sure that you put your closure down here underneath your pattern paper, before you put your pattern paper on. And then that way you can do that. But this way, it'll just all be glued down. Okay, like so. I'm going to make sure I don't get any glue sticking out that. And then I'm just going to go through, make sure it's stuck down really well through all the spines here. And then my thought is I'm going to leave the pages blank so that we can have lots of pictures in this album. Since it is a littler album, and I did use a lot of 4x4s in here, like on these pages, and we're going to go through that in just a second. So we're going to have lots of room for photos here. So each of these photo mats will hold, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 pictures. So there's 16 pictures right there that you'll be able to hold. Okay, so now let's talk pages. So this album has 5 pages, and believe it or not, these 5 pages are basically the same as far as scoring the pages. They're all made out of one 12x12 piece of cardstock. So you'll need 5 pieces of cardstock only, and it's just a matter of scoring and folding and doing like maybe 1 or 2 little cuts. So we're going to go through how to do that. But pages 1, 2, and 3 are kind of one version of it, and pages 2 and 4 are another version. So let's kind of go through these. They all kind of look the same, but they are all different. So first page, I did use a 6x4 cut apart that was in the collection. There were only 2 of them. One was vertical, one was horizontal. So I did use that for the front one. But then this flap will open, and you have a nice big layout. Now I did add some Artisan cardstock in baby blue and the new summer ivory, and I got to tell you, I love this summer ivory. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I decided to use both of those in this construction as well. Did a little cut apart here, and then when you turn it this way, you have a pocket here, a triangular pocket, and then you have a pocket up in here. I used tags out of my stash for some of these, and then I used some extra cardstock here to make a nice tag. And then in my design team package, I did get the doodads for, let's see, let me grab the package here, for making shakers. And again, I'm not much of a shaker maker, so this is kind of a learning thing for me too, but I did come up with a couple little ideas that I'm going to be using, and the other ones I'll show you in a little while when we get this album all completely done. But this is Gold Rush, and they're really pretty yellow. So what I did with this was kind of fun. So I had in my stash these adhesive pockets, and you're just supposed to be able to just put them on a page. They're 2.5 by 3.5, so they're artist trading card size. They're adhesive on the back. You stick them on a page, and then you could put a little card in there. Well, what I did was I layered it on top of a 3x4 cut apart, so the pocket was actually on top of the cut apart, and I did have to trim it down a little bit, of course. And then I backed the whole thing on blue Artisan cardstock, and I did about 3/4 of an inch more, and then just folded it over and glued it down, and that sealed the top of the pocket. And then I made myself a little shaker tag. I cut the corners, set an eyelet, and I used some of the seam binding that came in my design team package. So I made this cute little tag, shaker tag, for this pocket. And that's what I did. So that's this whole thing right here with the flap and the pockets and everything, this is one piece of cardstock, and it's just a matter of a simple couple of strategic cuts and folds, and that's all there is to it. This page here, you have this nice big flap here that opens up. You have a nice big opportunity for a picture. And then over here, what I did was I put one of the, of course that's pretty thick right there, but I put one of the die cuts that I got in the ephemera pack right here, that was in the design team package, and I did it so you could put a smaller picture above and then a smaller picture below. Okay, so there's that. So this page opens up like that, and then you turn it, you have another flap that opens up, and then we have a nice long pocket here, one of the tags from my collection, and then some extra cardstock that I made a photo mat with. And then that folds up, and then it opens up like that. And this again is another die cut that came in the ephemera package that you could put a picture behind. So this is all, again, one piece of paper that is strategically cut and folded. So I call them configurations. I really like doing those. I like figuring it out. This page here says I love summer, and again, another die cut. Open it up, nice 2-page spread, use some die cuts and then some stickers from the collection that I got in the design team package. And then you turn it over, and this guy here folds open, but it also is a pocket here, which I put a tag from my stash in. This page here opens up like some of the other pages, so really cute. Again, trying to showcase the 4x4 cut aparts. And then this page opens up, and then we have a little pocket on this page. So again, extra cardstock from everything that I went ahead and just put in there for the tag for the pocket. And then this opens up another pocket and more photo mat and another tag, and again, another die cut. And you can see I still need to finish the inside spines too. And then this page here, this one opens up, a nice big photo mat, and again, another piece that is underneath so that you could put a picture above and below. And then you turn this page, and this page opens up, okay? And then this creates a pocket. So we got a little side pocket here. All right, so all of these pages, every single one of them has something different to them, but they're all pretty much made out of the same thing. So there's 5 pages. It takes 5 pieces of cardstock to make the pages. So let's go ahead and talk about how to make those pages. Get that out of the way here, and I will grab my templates. Okay, so now I told you that pages 1, 3, and 5 are all going to be basically made out of this cut. Okay, so what I did was I cut a piece of paper that was 10 3/4 by 12. Okay, so then I put it in my scoreboard, and I scored at 1/2 inch. So this is going to give you this 1/2 inch area here, which attaches it to the book. This is the binding. So score at 1/2 inch, then score at 3/4. Now this is going to give you that 1/4 inch give space that I love to have on my albums, and it helps the pages turn better, especially when they're interactive. Okay, so 1/2, 3/4, and then 5 3/4, and then you're done with that. Then turn counterclockwise to the 12-inch side and score at 7. Okay, you're going to do this for 3 pieces of paper. Okay, so these are, again, album pages 1, 3, and 5. And I alternated them because I wanted to. So make 3 of these, and super simple. And then once you're done with the scoring, you're going to do a few just really super simple cuts. So when at the score line here, at the 7 down to the 3/4, you're going to cut that out. And then you're going to make a slit on this mark here, just to the score line. Okay, so you're just going to slit here. You're not going to cut anything out. You're just going to make a slit. And then once you do that and you're able to fold this page out of the way, put it back in your cutter and cut 1/4 of an inch off of this top piece here. Okay, so what that's going to do is, for example, on page 1, you notice how the first page, when you open it up, this page is 5 inches wide, this page is 4 3/4, so it just gives a little extra room. I decided to do that on those pages. Okay, and it also peaks the paper behind it. So all of the pages, pages 1, pages 3, and page 5, they will all have that. Okay, so then you're going to make these slits. So then let me show you how to make them. I'll leave this here. You can go ahead and screenshot this, but basically make 3 of these. And then so on page 1, how we're going to do this, let me unfold this so I'll show you. Page 1 has that corner pocket. So once you cut these out and make this slit, okay? Ignore this for just a second. You're going to have the slit here, and you're going to have the cutout here, okay? Here's your binding and your give space. So then you're going to have, you should have a full square. I put it back in my cutter and I just made the diagonal pocket, because what's going to happen is you're going to fold this piece over, and you're going to fold this piece back, okay? And then when you turn it, you fold this down, and that's going to create your pocket. So then all you have to do, there's going to be a pocket here and a pocket here. So you just need to glue here and here. And let's draw, how about we do this? Let's use green for this. Okay, so you're going to put glue here, and you're going to put glue here on the edge, and we're going to glue that up. And then you're going to glue just this bottom part right here and glue that down. And what that's going to do is on the back side of this page, you're going to have a pocket here, and you're going to have a pocket here. Now, before you glue this down, you should put pattern paper on first. On this big 5-inch square right here before you glue it down. Now, I did not put pattern paper completely down underneath this pocket. What I did was I glued that pocket up, and then I just used a strip of paper here because I was going to glue it down and the pocket's kind of tight. I didn't want to make it any tighter for tags. So I left underneath this 5-inch square open, and I just did a strip of paper here. But I did put pattern paper on this whole thing here and then glued that down. But you don't have to if you don't want to. If you want to use a piece of pattern paper and cut this at 4 3/4 by 4 3/4, cut it at a diagonal, you could use one piece here and then one piece up here if you wanted to. So in mine, I did right here. I'll take that out and show you. So this is just a strip of the strawberry paper up here above the pocket. And then I put the paper underneath it, underneath the whole thing, and then glued this down and then put the pattern paper on there. So I hope that makes sense. So that's page 1. Okay. And again, this is the stuff for that. Then page 3, basically we're going to do the same thing on page 3. So we're going to do all those cuts like I said, okay? So you can see where we're slit. We cut the edge off here. We cut this out. So this front will go to the front. This folds to the back, and then this folds down. So then on page 3, what we did was, let me show you. So this piece here got glued so that there was a pocket in this 5-inch flap, okay? So we folded the big page to the front, and then we have the flap back here that we made a pocket out of, okay? So basically all you have to do with that is just put some glue on this edge and some glue on this edge, and then close that up, and that creates your pocket, and then it becomes a flap, and then you have a full page back here, okay? That's all you have to do. This is fun because I love configuring these because you can do like so many things. You could even, like if you want this page on the back, you could do that and then have this guy on the front. So there's so many things that you can do. I just showed you 5. I'm going to show you 5 different things that I came up with, or 5 different things that I used, but I came up with a lot more. So I could actually make a whole different album with whole different pages just by using the techniques that I'm going to show you today. It's really fun. So page 5, again, we're going to make the same cuts. And what we're going to do with page 5 is we're going to have our page that opens up, which is really super nice for big full page layouts. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create this flap, but we're also going to have a pocket coming out the side for a nice little tag. Okay, so you'll still end up with a full page flap, or full page area for a picture. You'll have this page here for a picture, and then you'll have a pocket. So that's super easy to do. You fold the front page over, okay, and you fold this to the back, turn it over, and then what you're going to do is, this is how I did it. So I glued, next thing I did was I glued here to close the bottom, and then I glued here to close that, and then folded that up. So that's going to create the side pocket, okay, right here. And then what I did was I opened up this flap, because you still are going to have this page flap, and then I put pattern paper over the top of this entire thing. Because this is glued shut up here to create the side pocket, you're not going to have a pocket here. And I kind of wanted to cover that, you know, strip up. So I just covered it completely with a piece of paper. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So you can't even really tell that that other piece is glued down underneath it. So that's how I made that. So this is going to be page 5. All right. So that's solely just using those 3 pages, just using this one way to score and cut. So then let's talk about pages 2 and 4. So 2 and 4 are just a little bit different. And pretty much the only thing that I did different was I kept the paper at 12 by 12 and I scored it almost exactly the same. Put it in your scoreboard on the first 12 side, and then you're going to score at half, again for the tab for closure, at 3/4 for the give space. Then you're going to score at 5 3/4, just like we did. But then on the other one, we cut it at 10 3/4, but on this one, we're going to score it at 10 3/4. Okay. And there's a couple differences. So the same thing here, we're going to cut this piece out, but then instead of the slit being here, we're going to do the slit this way. Okay. So just up this 5-inch score, just to the score only. Okay. Then you're going to make 2 of these. One of them, you're going to leave this piece in, but the other one, you're going to take it out. Okay. Now the one that you leave in, you're just going to slit right here. And leave this part in, but the other one you're going to take this completely out. Okay, so page 2, I cut that piece out. Okay, so this is what you're going to get, just like that. Okay, cut that out, cut this out, make the slit here. So then what I did, let's look at it so that I'll show you here. So we're going to fold one flap to the front. So we're going to have the 5-inch flap up to the front, and then we're going to turn the page. You're going to have a flap that folds to the back. Okay. This huge piece here, you can see, actually we folded it to the back. Okay. So that little area that we cut off the first time with the first page configuration, this time we scored it there. We're going to fold that over, and that's going to create a pocket. And then when you open it up, you still have a nice big layout. Okay, so what I did was I folded this up, and we're going to just glue it. And again, because these are glued pockets and they are you know, kind of tight, I didn't put pattern paper under the entire thing. So all I did was, let me show you on the page, I just used a strip. It didn't go all the way under the pocket. Okay, so just to the edge of the pocket. So I just use a strip so that, excuse me, a little bit easier, not as tight to put tags in. And then, so glue that, and then fold the whole thing like this, and then one flap goes up, and then one flap goes up on each side. So you still have, you have a flap here, and you turn it, you have a flap here, you have a pocket here, and then you open it up to a full page spread. Okay, that's page 2. So then the last page is page 4. Let's look at that. Okay, so you have another flap with big picture space. Turn it, you have another flap. This time the pocket is on the flap because we're not going to cut that out. Remember, one of them we cut this side out here, one of them we didn't. So this little guy will have a pocket, and then you turn it, and then the pocket is on the inside this time. So you'll have a full page here, and you have a pocket here, and then a full page here. I mean, can you believe how much space you can get out of one piece of paper just doing a little cutting and folding? I mean, seriously, this is like really cool, I think. So we're going to The second page, instead of cutting this whole thing out, we're going to leave it and we're just going to slit right here, okay? We're going to cut this piece out. So the first flap will go up to the front, and then we're going to fold everything to the back. This flap goes this way, and this flap goes this way to create our pockets. All right, so we're just going to add a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here, and then glue that down, and that'll create your pocket on your little flap. And then when you do this, we'll put a little bit of glue here and a little bit of glue here and fold that down, and then you'll have your pocket there. So that's how, excuse me, I did those pages. And honestly, they're just from almost the same exact thing, but just two, basically, you know, one kind of way of cutting and scoring. So I just sat here and I cut a bunch of them and scored a bunch of them, and I just played with them. And again, I came up with some more different configurations. You could do all kinds of stuff with this, and you know, let your imagination run wild. Instead of having, you know, so many flaps, you could glue these down and create another pocket if you wanted to. You know, the choices are, you know, completely yours. Okay, so then once I did all that, made the pages, then I just glued them in the book like I always do. And unfortunately, I didn't think about it. I just glued them in first, and I didn't show you how to do it on camera, but I'll talk you through it. So you got your spine edge here. I just went in 1/2 inch and drew a slight pencil line so that I have a line to look at, and then glued it down. Now don't glue the 1/4 inch give space. You're just going to glue the 1/2 inch tab on your pages, okay? And then just line them up. Now when you get to your last page, your 5th page, I don't continue on. What I do is I kind of reverse it, so the tab of the 5th page is laying on top of the tab of the 4th page. And I know if you've seen my videos, I've done that before, but then that way, on either side of your pages, you don't have any extra tabs sticking out. You just see the nice, beautiful spine. Okay? So if you, let's see, if you have any questions, let me know about that. That's the construction of the book. I still need to do a little decorating and some finishing, but that is basically the construction of the book. And again, please take a screenshot of this. I'll leave it there for just a couple seconds so you can do that. But this is for pages 2 and 4, how I did that. And then on pages 1, 3, and 5, I did this. And I'll leave that there so you have another opportunity to do a screenshot. That's all I did. And seriously, you can come up with a ton of different combinations. And it's crazy how many different things you can do with this, but they all kind of still work together because they still kind of have the same types of things. The other thing I thought about was that you could also take and reverse it if you wanted to. This is probably not like the best example. Let me try this one. So you could turn them upside down if you wanted to, and then have a flap that goes to the top, and then a little flap that goes this way. So, I mean, and then have, you know, this on the back. So, I mean, seriously, you can configure this any way you want with just these 2 different options. So, I'm going to decorate. So I'm going to put my cover piece on. You've already seen me how I fixed that. And then one other thing I was going to show you. So I made a couple different shakers. I'm not quite sure exactly how I'm going to use these yet, but I have a couple ideas. So this is a die cut from the ephemera pack that I got, and it's one of those frame ones. So I popped the frame out, and what I did was I glued it onto a piece of cardstock that I cut just a wee bit bigger than this. So I glued it right into the center, and then put some of the doodads in there, used foam tape, and then adhered the frame around it with the acetate. So I did get acetate in my pack as well. So that's how I made this shaker. And then this guy here, because there are some mason jars, and let me see where they are. Here they are. We got some mason jar patterns in this collection. I had a punch, And did I put it away? No, I didn't put it away. So I had a punch, but you could use your Cricut, you could use your Silhouette, whatever. Get one of these deals out. And I cut a piece out of the pattern paper, and then I cut a piece out of the matching coordinating cardstock that came with the design team package. And then I fussy cut out an oval, and then again used foam tape and put some of the doodads in there. But also, you see the little flower and the strawberries, those are from the sticker pack. And let me see, they had teeny tiny little strawberry stickers and little flower stickers. So I took those out and I used my powder to make them unsticky, and I threw those in there as part of the shaker element as well. And I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but I've got a couple ideas. So I'm going to finish decorating this, and then I'm going to come back and we'll have a walkthrough video with this, and then we'll be good to go. So thanks for watching. I hope all this made sense. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will see you very shortly with my final walkthrough. Well, the decorating's done, and I thought I would do a final walkthrough and show you what it turned out to look like. So I decided what I was going to do with my shakers and all that, so I got the cover done. So here is my cover with my berry basket full of strawberries, and here's my 3D strawberry that I made. Here is that little jar shaker that I had, and then the strawberry seed packet. So I think the cover turned out really, really cute. There's a little shaker element there. I added some flowers from my stash, and then I tied a piece of twine around the jar shaker, so it looks really cute there. And I think, yeah, it does shake a little bit. So that's my first shaker I've ever made. So there you go. So I tied it. The closure is the new way to do the Graphic 45 tag closure. And I did use some red from my stash because I thought it just kind of matched the red with the strawberries better for the outside of the album, so I did use that, but the blue came with my design team package. On the spine, I added my other shaker that I did to kind of give it something on the spine, and it looks really, really cute. I think it's adorable, actually. And then on the back, I put a couple stickers here on the cover so that you know, it just had a little something on the back. So when you open it up, I added a few little things. So we've got our waterfall on the front, and it's designed so that the front cover is using a 4x4, and it has a magnet in here to keep it closed, but it closes down to that. And then all the pages are blank. I did add the paper strips to the spine pieces here. So we did that. I did that. Now you can do it both ways. It doesn't really matter. But I wanted to keep this open so you could see it. So then on the first page, my friend Jackie gave me a bunch of cute little embellishments. So I went through that, and I added a bow here that she gave me just to the bottom. It just needed a little something. And so there you have that. I added this cute little flower here to kind of break up the pattern of the paper a little bit. And I didn't really do anything extra to these, but I did add a little sticker here with a flower, and it says Happy Summer Days on the tag. So this would be really cute for journaling, I think. So let's see. We've got this, and it opens up. I added a bow to that mason jar, so I thought that was really cute. Again, that was from my friend Jackie. And I should say the white flowers here were from Jackie. And then I have this flower from my stash that I added. So then you open this up, and then I put some stickers on the tag here that says We Love Summertime. So that just tucks in there. Again, I think those tags will be great for a journaling spot. And on this page, I added a little button with a little piece of twine because it just kind of needed something. And then that kind of made it look like almost like a wreath to me. So I thought that was really pretty. Didn't change anything in here. Didn't change anything there, but I did add another sticker to this tag to just kind of brighten up the tag a little bit, but that pops in there. Another flower with a button with a piece of twine, and Jackie gave me those buttons as well. So then over here, let's see, I didn't really add anything here, but on this tag, I did add one of the stickers from the collection that says Happy Day. So again, really nice place for journaling. a lot of places for pictures too. I added this flower here to the corner of here, again, to kind of break up the busy pattern. And then the tag here that comes out of the side, I added, I don't know if you can see that, it's really teeny tiny sticker. It says "So Lovely" on it. So I figured for a smaller tag, I'd use the smaller stickers. And we have that. So lots of room for pictures. Little bow in the corner of this page. That just kind of brightened it up a little bit. Not that it needed it because this paper is so gorgeous anyway. And then I added a little bow that I tied and just glued onto that berry basket here. And then added the spine pieces to this one. And again, left these open so that you can have lots of places for pictures. So that is my album. I think look at that. It's so pretty. I love all the colors. It's so bright, so gorgeous. This is Carta Bella's summer collection, and it's gorgeous, and it's available at countrycraftcreations.com. So please go check it out. I'm going to get this finished, and then I have another tutorial that is in the works using this paper. It's going to be kind of a completely different vibe. So have a really awesome day. Thanks for watching, and check back shortly. I'll have another tutorial for you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.